Hi, my name's Simon.
You just look like a robot a little bit. Be relaxed and just say it, right? No.
Today we're going to go through Nico's strength and power program.
As a defensive midfielder, I need to fight.
It's a really intense position. He's got good power, but that comes from consistency for me.
I hope you start working out a little bit more. This year I've been focusing more on getting more strength and more power, because what I've noticed is that in the Premier League there's the physicalities and the players are so strong. As a defensive midfielder I need to fight. So it's really important, and I've seen that I've grown so much since I arrived 1 year ago until now. And now I can manage much better the strong strikers that we have.
Back. Gnonto's tackled. Back in it goes, and then Trafford heads it away, and it's off the line by Nico.
The club, contact, and bought an incredible player for the future in terms of mentality. Remember, like a mini Rodri, in terms of, it's a big compliment, but he's had the feeling for the present, the big, you know.
I'm really pleased because this type of football players, they are incredible, coachable, they deserve the best. First of all, congratulations, because it was an incredible tough game and you did really well, guys, really well. Second, eat, training, eat and rest, eat, training and rest, eat, training and rest, eat, training and rest, okay? Good food, because in 3 days you have another game with a long trip, and after a long trip again in Portugal, the Champions. And don't forget, when we come back, we don't have time for anything. You know that? Every game is completely final.
At the end you have so many matches, so how do you help me to balance between working and recovering?
I think the first thing is that the relationship between yourself and the fitness staff, the medical staff, and also the coaching staff, to make sure that we understand, okay, what you're doing on the pitch is helped by what you're doing off the pitch. And we have to take into account, okay, how many sprints, how many accelerations, decelerations have maybe you done in training, when's the next game, how is your recovery from the previous game. We analyse data and we think that we know the player, but sometimes players react in different ways to different things put on them. Players recover differently. So I think it's important that the player has a really good input into the process of when we do what we do. Okay, shall we get started? First exercise? Yeah. It's quite a popular machine, to be honest. It allows the players to load quite heavily, but get in the hips, because the hips are the one that really power when players accelerate.
Now Nico comes forward. He's in a good position, Nico. He's on the edge of the area. He's still got the ball. He fires it into the net! Nico Gonzalez!
We're really looking for a nice neutral sort of spine, and really we're looking for him to do the work through his hips. So he's not bending at his back, he's bending at his hips. And when he bends at his hips, he really engages the big power muscles, the glutes, which are going to drive that acceleration. So we really want him to move through the hips, not through the back.
Normally I do it with 160, 170 kilos. I was only 21 years old when I started doing this, and at that age you grow so much. I feel like now I'm getting older, and sometimes I need a little bit less work and know what you need for the game.
Do you want to go here, Nico? So this is just a normal leg press. It's just a good general strength exercise for the lower body. As a footballer, listen, you do a lot of sprints, accels, decels, it's quads, it's glutes, it's a bit of everything really. The thing with this as well is, with Nico, is because he can manage quite a lot of weight, it increases what we call sort of neural drive, which is basically the drive from the brain to the muscles to work. And obviously as a professional footballer, he needs these drives to be strong, intense. So this is a good exercise for driving that sort of neural excitation that we need as a footballer. it's an exercise Nico likes, he's done before, so it's about working with the player and understanding what they like the best and what works the best for them. Important thing is, if you watch with Nico, he's got a good range, so he goes good depth. I mean, you get some people that will go very heavy and go a short range, and it's really, like I said before, range enables us to recruit and activate more muscle. Because he's got good range in his hips, when he goes deep he's not stressing his back or his spine or anything like that. Even if you're a normal person that wants to develop muscle mass, you need to go through range.
Yeah, I love it. What he was talking about, the range. When I'm able to do a lot of a full range or a lot of range, there's a lot of players that suffer from tendon in the knee, and myself also, since I was like 18 or so, football players, we do a lot of acceleration and deceleration, and normally we have pain here, many players. And with this exercise, after doing it, I feel so much better, and I feel like it's one of the best exercises to do for this, which is something that maybe most people wouldn't think, that this exercise with a lot of range helps the tendon. So
the modern player now has a good insight into training now, which I think is good. You know, these guys are more educated than maybe the previous players used to be, only because the knowledge is more available. But it's good because, like I said before, when you put in a training program together, the relationship between player and coach and medical personnel is really important, and it's not always about us telling them what to do, it's them asking us, I want to do this, why? You know, there should be a healthy debate, and I think any knowledge that a player has can help the process of developing a real consistent and rounded program. Yeah, so this is more of a sort of a speed-based exercise. So it's like basically a position where Nico's going to accelerate on that first step, which is obviously really important for a footballer. I think the important thing with this is he's getting the right body angles. So when you put force into the floor, if you want to accelerate, you want to really want to optimise your horizontal push. So you're not pushing up, you're pushing the way you want to do it. So this teaches that good posture, and it teaches that good force expression. A little bit lighter weight, but more speed of action rather than load of action. So he's getting good extension at his knee, good extension at his hip, he's loading up. So he's got a nice positive shin angle, which, like I said, it optimises that horizontal force production. So if you're going to give effort, you want to give effort in the right direction. If he wants to accelerate, he needs to give effort in that horizontal direction. Good range in his hips, good range in his ankles allows him to create those positive angles. He's got good power, good speed, but that comes from consistency for me. He's very consistent with his work, and it's difficult. I mean, we play a lot of games, but Nico finds a way to maintain the intensity of what he needs to do, and that's speed work and strength work. So basically when Nico's running fast, you know, above 25 kilometers an hour at top speed, the ankle is required to be quite stiff, because when you push into the ground, they need to be able to bounce on the ground. As you run faster as well, the amount of time you're on the ground, so we call it contact time, gets shorter. So therefore, the time to produce force from long contractions you really can't do it. So stiffness around the ankle becomes really important in terms of being able to bounce, and enabling those elastic properties is what we want at top speed. This is a great exercise for that, in terms of just challenging the ankle with some load. And if you looked at the feet, the ankle is slightly off, so he's not flat-footed. This is basically what we'll do when we sprint. We don't sprint with all the foot in contact with the ground. We sprint with the heel lifted, and what that enables us to do is to utilise the elastic properties of the Achilles tendon, which is a big, strong tendon at the back of the ankle. So what Nico's doing there is he's activating that stiffness around his ankle, which is really important, because you can have really strong hips But if you apply the force and then when you hit with your ankle's floppy, you're going to lose a lot of that. So I suppose it's like working on the end of a sledgehammer. You can swing it, but the contact with whatever it's going to break, the end of the hammer needs to be stiff. It's the same with the ankle. And it's a top speed is all about efficiency, so you don't want an energy leak. If the ankle's nice and stiff, you don't leak as much energy. So obviously Nico, with the size of him, he's obviously aerially very, very good in terms of heading balls. This is just a nice exercise that promotes a single leg sort of power. Obviously when you jump for a ball, you normally take off with one leg. So this is all about developing vertical force. Whereas that other power one was horizontal force acceleration. This is more about vertical force, more about heading. What it does is, because it's sort of horizontally orientated, it takes a lot of the load off with the landing. So it's nice and safe, but you can really push through the full range on a single leg. So it's a bit like sort of based.
Football, it's difficult because you have to do everything. You have to focus on every muscle you have and everything, because at the end I've had times of my life that I had problems while I was working so much on the gym. So you have to try to, the most important work for me is the prevention, and prevention means preventing all the muscles on everything. I've had problems in my foot, I've had problems in my calf while I was working so much. So I think that's the previous work before every training is the most important one. At the end, being consistent and trying to work everything. It's not easy, but it's what what our job requires.
Holding midfielder has to never ever be in the highlights. Had to be do the job I had to do. But the highlights belongs to other people.
To the ball, Cherki, he hits it into the net. Rayan Cherki.
Holding midfielder has to think for the rest of the team and don't expect the recognition.
Oh, it must be for Marmoush! No more Marmoush!
They have to attack, they have to defend, they have to close down, they have to get away to receive the ball. It's, you know, that they have to get used to working in tight areas. It's like Nico says, yeah, they need a little bit of everything. But I think as well, what they need as well is they need consistent exposure to the training environment, because, you know, that position for me is so cognitive that the importance of Nico staying fit and maintaining that training level in terms of being in there and making decisions is really, really important. Because the position is there's so many different things going in the mind in terms of positions. It's a really intense position, and the importance of rhythm and timing, you get that from being productive in the training. If you're missing training sessions, coming out, missing that, it's very difficult, I think, sometimes in that linebacker, quarterback role to be successful. But yeah, it demands a little bit of everything, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's always easier to just don't do it. I mean, it's easy to say I'm tired and I don't want to do the exercises that I have to do to train and everything, because at the end we are always tired, and especially when we play 3 matches a week, people normally think, oh, it's just the time, an hour and a half. But sometimes they don't realize that we're literally tired all the week. So you play, you recover, and then suddenly 2 hours before the game you feel good again, and then you are tired all the time. So I've had periods, for example, in November and December, I played every game starting and I was really tired, and in those moments I try to keep doing the same work here in the gym, but obviously a little bit less in terms of weight, for example, in each exercise. But at the end you have to keep doing everything more or less, and because my mind what tells me is that this brought me here, to Man City to being able to be in this level. So I think I should keep doing this to stay at this level.
The last week it's been so stressful. I really wanted to come and I didn't know if I had the opportunity to be here, and now that I'm coming, I'm so happy.
Every time moves much better in the right positions. He's much clever where the space is free. And yeah, he's so young, so he's a lovely guy, so I'm really pleased.
So it goes back to Bernardo Silva. Nico shooting position, hits it low! City 2, Liverpool 0! A goal from Nico!
He's very disciplined and very consistent, and I think, like he said before, that's so important in modern day athlete, but also normal people. Like, you know, you get home from work like I do, and you don't want to go to the gym, but you got to get yourself there, because the long-term benefits of being consistent, you know, outweigh the little, you know, kind of, you know, this guy's always here every training session. He turns up and he does his work, and he does his work well. There's a difference between turning up and doing it half. He turns up and does it full. And, you know, for any young professional or any young amateur player, you know, what Nico's saying is consistency is really important, and it's the times when you don't always want to do it, it's the times to get yourself in, because those are probably the best sessions. We can all go in when we're motivated, but when we're tired, it's just a lot harder. But for those young people out there, the consistency works.
So guys, this is what I normally do in a week as a central midfielder. So I hope you like it, and yeah, I hope you start working out a little bit more.